Discount Podcast.
Welcome in, you cheap beggars, to Discount, the bargain bin gaming podcast hosted by three people so cheap that they're thinking they're getting something back because of daylight savings.
Ooh, nice. I like that.
Oh,
I know,
savings.
it's actually a clever one by me. By me, Josh, one of your hosts. I'm plugging in to player two.
I'm Darren, hello. And sat in the dark, locked, lonely room that is the Wii U's online store.
oh, that is quite dark.
Yeah, it is dark. The lights are off.
Oh, it's me, and I'm concerned about my well-being. It's scary.
Yes, hello, we are here with another episode. It's not one of our fight, which is the best game ones.
It's peace.
I don't know. I feel like Darren's trying to fight with me right now.
Every day.
Every day. I mean, that is just a normal day for you guys.
Yeah.
Just at each other's throats.
Scrapping.
I don't even know how this podcast survives. You two are just too venomous outside of the podcast.
Yeah.
Where we do hate each other.
Yeah.
Maybe you secretly love each other. Who
Shout out
knows?
to the
Oh my
podcast
god,
lore.
he's found us out.
I know.
Fuck.
Jim,
Sorry you had to find
Josh,
out this
and
one, alright.
Darren. All three.
Our wiki is being written as we speak.
Yeah.
Yes. Written, that's what
Written
it's
and
as we
written.
speak.
Yeah.
But yeah, we are back with a Freeplay and Freebies episode. This time looking, unsurprisingly, at the month of April, as it's coming out in April.
Shout out to April.
Shout out to April. It's probably coming a bit earlier in April than you normally expect, but it's just because April's landing weird. Who knows? Who knows?
Fuck April, right?
Fuck April. So yeah, we're going to be talking about news this month. We're going to be talking about games that we've been playing, games that we're looking forward to, and most importantly, the PS Plus lineup. Was it good? Was it bad? Do we like free games? And that's pretty much what the
I
plan
mean, I
is
think
today.
everybody likes free games.
I think I like a few more than 3.
Thank you.
That's right, bud.
Thank you. That was terrible.
As it should be.
That was terrible.
Wow.
I was going to ask how we were doing though
Good.
in April, and Darren's still got 50p in him from his stream that he last did for Until Dawn, and he's ready to go. I mean, I'm hurting a little bit because I played Snow Bros.
Great stream.
God, that stream. That was something bad. I feel remorseful.
I knew that stream went bad because I had a parents' evening on the night he was streaming, right? And he said, when you come in, I'll be streaming, so I just so we won't be able to say hi or whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I went in the bath because I was exhausted. And within probably about 30, 40 minutes, he was knocking on my door, and I was thinking, oh my God, what's gone wrong? And he just went, that was the shortest fucking stream I'll ever do because there's nothing to do. I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was awful. It made me want the world to explode. Really. So should we move into news?
Yeah. News.
I talk about the world exploding in Fallout.
Oh, good segue.
Yes. So Fallout, unsurprisingly, we're going to be talking about this. Amazon Prime have just released all of Fallout in one big chunk. They're not doing their normal weekly releases, which everyone seems shocked at, which otherwise I'm shocked at because all their other programs, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Reacher, Invincible, all their big stuff that they're like knocking out the park with has been on weekly,
Bit by bit, yeah.
weekly schedules. But they've just fucking dropped everything, and they dropped it all 2 days earlier than planned.
Lovely.
I think maybe it was a mistake. Maybe they weren't supposed to.
No, they announced it on Twitter. They went, oh, we were going to be dropping it on the Friday, but we're going to drop it on the Wednesday. And I got very excited on that Wednesday to watch it. And then I realised that they meant 9 p.m. American
Like
time.
Pacific, yeah.
So it was 2 a.m. British Standard Time. So I watched it on the Thursday.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about the episodes. There may be minor spoilers for the first one.
Okay,
because
that's
I don't know how much everyone's watched. I think you've only watched
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
2 episodes.
Karis watched
yeah.
2. I've watched everything and
Cool.
now 2 extra episodes. I've watched 10 of the 8 episodes. But yeah, Fallout the game. What are we thinking about the episodes and the show in general?
I gotta be honest, Josh put this on last week and it was very much like, do you want to watch Fallout? And I was in like a real, like, I don't know if I want to watch something new. Like, I'm exhausted. I'm really tired from work. I fucking loved it. It was class. It just, I don't know, just everything about it was done so well. And I mean, I will be honest, like, I've watched my dad play a little bit of it, but I've never personally played it. And I just thought the whole premise and the world that it was in and the characters that they've made are so fucking cool. I really enjoyed it.
I'm sort of like a passing fan of Fallout. I haven't played a lot of it. My
Right.
partner's arguably a bigger Fallout fan than I am because she was the only one to watch it, and I'm like, yeah, well, sure. I'll watch TV. Why not? And then we watched the first episode, and it's like, okay, this is like well done. These are people who have done their research, have like put the work in to understand Fallout. And then you watch the second episode, you're like, oh, these are people who fucking love Fallout.
Yes.
It's so like well tuned into the universe of it, and you read people talking about it, and it's like, oh, the fact that this has been done this way is all the better because it's exactly how it would be in the game.
Yeah.
Like the example that was given is there's a bit early in episode 2 where a guy is being shot at by a turret.
Yes.
And the turret misses every fucking bullet. And then you watch that and you think, oh, it's just, obviously it's plum. You can't have the guy getting shot. And then you read discussions, it's like, oh no, people who have played a lot of Fallout, especially 76, was a lot of the comments about it. The turrets have atrocious fucking accuracy and can't hit anything. It's like, they've thought about that.
I can't remember where there's a compound, I think, in 4 which has a bunch of them, and you do not get hit. You can just like run past all of the bullets, and it's got that please stand by.
Please remain calm.
Yeah, please remain calm. And it's so well done. I mean, I'm a big Fallout fan. I've played 3 basically since 3.
Yeah.
Prior to 3, no one knows. Let's be honest, no one knows Fallout before 3 because 3 was like the big change in how we do it. New Vegas is my favorite. Fuck you guys. I think to be honest, I think IGN did a poll of its viewers, and New Vegas came out on top. I think it's New Vegas, then 3, then 4.
Yeah.
Is normally how it drops, and that's fair, and that makes sense. This is set a little after 4. I think it's set the latest in any of the games. And this is the thing. There's clear love in how it's been made. Like, I was looking at all the brands on everything. I was like, Atomic Queen, the fridge. You're like, brilliant. There's sugar bombs and something that people are eating. You know, the only thing that I haven't really seen is much in the way of the pop, the cola, the drink.
Nuka-Cola.
Nuka-Cola. I haven't seen that anywhere right now.
There was a sign for it in
There
episode
was.
2.
Perfect. But like, I got really excited, and I'm not trying to spoil anything here, but there were bits where you go, oh, cool, we've gone to like that location. So it's not like big ones, but you see a gas station. You're like, oh, I wonder if it's going to be one of those ones. And you go there, you're like, yeah, it is. I'm really excited. And there are lines from the games that show up there. Because I mean, if I just say the word war, you know what the next line is as someone who's played the game, but you don't know. But they said it, and I went, I hope they say the next part. Yeah. And they say the next part, and I got so excited. It was a little nerdy me going,
There's a lot of like things that I've read about it though that I think are really cool. Like the main girl in it played all of the Fallout games
she went and played
in preparation for which I just think is really cool because like I don't know. I just said like that she went to the effort of being like, okay, well I'm going to play them all. Like, fuck it.
I also think it's great that she looks like a generic character.
She does.
She just looks. It's just that weird sort of. Hey, everything is perfectly symmetrical and a bit vacant in the eyes.
Yeah, she's great. I think she's
really
genuinely really good in that character.
Someone did stats afterwards and worked out what level she would have been after completing the series.
Yeah.
She'd have been level 3.
Nice.
Because she doesn't actually do a whole lot of fighting or anything like that, which you get your leveling points. But you can follow. They now got guides for how to build yourself, like Lucy, for Maximus and for the Ghoul. This is how you build yourself to play as them, which is really fun.
Also, speaking of the Ghoul, I thought it was really cool that, like, because at one point, obviously, I've not played the game. There's like this big shootout in episode 2.
Yeah.
And I literally, not to spoil too much, but I was like, what the fuck gun is he using? Because people's heads were being thrown off, their limbs were being blown off, they were like gaping holes in people, and Josh was like, oh yeah, that's a gun from the game.
That's
like,
a mini nuke.
Yes, mini nuke, yeah.
I was like, that is so, and as soon as he said it, they did a close-up on the bullet, which is literally like, well, it's a mini nuke. And I was like, that is so fucking cool.
And there were people talking about it who were like, oh, he's obviously got this perk and this perk and this perk, the way he's shooting, the way he's doing it.
Very cool. I really liked it. We need to address one thing though, and if you are one of these people, I am going to say this now because I'm very conflicted about it, because there's a part of me that thinks that is absolutely unhinged and I don't understand it, and then there's another part of me when I watch it and I'm like, I kind of get it, and I don't know why. Why are there lots of women who want to have sex with the Ghoul when he's got no nose?
I don't know.
Because it's conflicting because you said it and I was like, oh no, oh my god, now I'm thinking about it and I'm like,
because he's a cowboy.
maybe.
Yeah,
It's the cowboy
Maybe.
vibe.
maybe.
Yeah. No, my favourite recurring bit is that stim packs still fix everything.
Yes.
People get like stabbed and shot, and they just get injected with a stim pack, and they're fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's
Very
and it's
cool.
how I like the realization of how fucking big they are. Because
Yeah.
you play the game like stim pack, nah, it's fine, and then you look at it and go, that would be awful.
On
wouldn't
her.
it?
Yeah.
The only thing that I could think all the way through it though is I was thinking, imagine if somebody made a Netflix series of like Resi 7 and 8 and they did the same thing, and every now and again you just had the guy playing Ethan Winters just fucking soaking himself in fucking water with his
Yeah.
stump bleeding. I was like, it probably wouldn't have the same effect.
No, but no, it's great. She really embodies the main character
Yeah.
energy of, because as a player you are just unfazed by anything that happens, and like the guy in his underwear and the waist who just
Yeah.
drinks all the water, like that is a Fallout NPC.
Yeah.
That's 100% a guy you run into in the waist. You're like, oh hi.
This is not going to be a spoiler. It's just a thing that happens right at the beginning of episode 1. I've never related to a character more, by the way, in that she ends up like getting with this guy who is unreasonably attractive.
Is it the curtains?
And no, the curtains made me laugh. The curtains made me laugh. It was the bit where she's like messing around with something and she turns around and he's completely naked and she just looks him up and down and goes, okie dokie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it.
But that's again main character energy. In
Yeah.
the game you just go, sure.
It is. You just sort of smile, nod, off we go. We're gonna
Yeah.
do that. It's yeah.
Be like button, press X to fuck the guy. You're like,
Yeah.
yep,
It's like
deal.
It's the moment, as you said, the shootout where you're like, now you have to decide who you're gonna help. You go, I think you're the bad guy, so I'm gonna help this one. And you're like, cool, this is where we're going.
Yeah.
Overall, though, really good.
Yeah.
It's got massive response from people, and it's now been confirmed for a season 2, which is not a shock because they've actually invested time, money, and people seem to love it.
Yeah.
But outside of that, big news in the Fallout world, I suppose, is the general. It's now the #1 selling game in Europe. Fallout 4 is now the #1 selling game in Europe, which is crazy and great. It's got huge streaming numbers. Fallout 76 is still not doing as well, but it's doing much better than it was. It now seems like sort of Fallout 76 looks good, and I almost
I
want to
respect
get
that game. Yeah, like it launched was total shit. It had sort of the No Man's Sky cyberpunk thing where they went, no, we want this to be good, and they made it better, and people seem to be really enjoying it now.
I wouldn't be shocked if we see that it win something like the best
Like
ongoing game in the next one because everyone's now started playing it.
Everyone's gone back to it. Perhaps they put more resources into it.
Potentially, we don't know. But in regards to Fallout 4, I wanted to really play it as soon as I started watching the series, and I thought, I'll jump into this. And then they announced that they're doing updates for new consoles, so we're getting a next-gen update for them, so I'm going to hold
It's
off.
nice.
I think it's the end of April again.
Is it?
It's end of April or beginning of May. It's not long, so
Exciting.
I'm holding off to play it again. to
Once
start
you've
it.
played that, I would like to have.
I've got
It's very
a
good.
digital copy. You can buy a physical copy for about £3.
Because
Yes.
I mean, as I said, I've seen like bits of my dad playing it, and it always looked really cool. But I've never actually gone and picked it up. And when I was watching the series, I was like, this is such a cool. I don't know. There's something about. I was saying to Josh, like I was for some reason, and I think it was because we did a lot of World War II history. Fucking unreasonably scared as a child of two things: nuclear bombs going off at any point, and tornadoes.
I think
for
they're
some
reasonable
reason,
things to be
you
scared
know.
of.
Well, not in Wales.
What about
we get a
both?
fucking tornado?
Nuke tornado.
Tsunamis too.
I don't remember
Constantly-
tornadoes being much in World War II.
No. I mean, the nuclear thing was World War II.
Well, Cold War and
Tornadoes
stuff,
and
yeah.
tsunamis. For some
Yeah.
reason, as a primary school child, I was convinced were going to take me out in
Don't,
Wales.
don't
Sure.
ever watch Godzilla then.
No.
I've watched Godzilla. I watched it with you.
Oh, nukes and
Yeah, I know, very
oh,
much.
very scary.
But there's something about like that post-apocalyptic, post-nuclear war thing that I find fucking fascinating.
Yeah.
So
Well, let's be honest. We got the opening scene, and as it was all, you went, "There's more of them." Oh, fuck that! And that was your last day. That was your.
Also, I hope that they like. It's one of the games that I want a remaster of the most. Is either 3 or New Vegas. I like them both conceptually. I've never been able to get into them because I find the pace of those games insufferable. They are the slowest games I've ever played, and that's the point. It's meant to be you're just plodding through the
at
wasteland.
least you could run in 3.
Yeah, you can't run in New Vegas.
Oh my God.
I can't fucking deal with it. I walk halfway to the first location. I'm like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah,
I'm out.
You can't sprint at all.
Not at all.
No.
I love it.
Not for
I
me.
hate it.
Well, no, I don't love that. I just love the game and I get through it.
I think that's what I enjoyed about the series and what I enjoy about the concept though is that to me, like as somebody who like watches a lot of horror, likes horror a lot, like I think the whole concept of the whole nuclear bomb thing is the scariest thing for me because I'm living in that kind of wasteland because there's fuck all you can do about that.
Yeah.
In that first scene where the kid's got the thumb up and you're thinking there is fuck all you can do about that. That first scene gave me fucking chills.
Have you watched the movie
good.
Threads?
No,
Don't.
my dad told me not to. My dad watched it and was like, no. We had to do a whole module in my old mainstream school about nuclear war.
Nice.
And all the kids were unfazed and I sat there the entire time as a 28-year-old woman shitting myself and was like, are you guys not scared by this? And they were like, no. I was like, oh sweet some
I got
children.
very confused. I was thinking, why were you 28 in a school learning about it?
I was about to ask what lesson it was, what topic?
English.
So, obviously, scared about nuclear war. Do you want to make you feel better? Fallout 5. Fallout 5 has been confirmed.
Hell yeah.
So there is a chance that obviously you want that sort of next-gen feel. There's a game coming that's going to be... They haven't given any sort of dates, but there is definitely a Fallout 5 coming.
Where should it be set?
Well, it's not going to be London.
Nope.
Because we've got the mods making the London version, but that has since been delayed, unfortunately. So that was meant to be coming shortly, but now they've done the next... they're doing updates for the next-gen consoles. They have to wait to see how that runs before they can release it.
Yeah.
So...
Where do you think we should do 5?
5, it's going to be California based.
I want it to be in Florida. I want nuclear Everglades.
Oh my god, nuclear Florida, man. How can it get worse?
That'd be awesome.
Nuclear Florida crocodiles.
Right.
Oh my fucking god.
I mean, you got the whole scope because really the history that you've got is all about the New California Republic and all that sort of thing. So it could be moving more westways, couldn't it?
3 is
Boston, or
no, 3 is like DC.
That's what I
4
meant.
is Boston.
Yep.
New Vegas is Vegas.
Yes.
Who would have guessed?
Yeah.
I think 2 is California, and I can't think where 1 is.
I don't know.
But
Or Tactics. I have no idea where Tactics was.
I just like Florida. I
Yeah.
think that'd be funny.
Well, we got too much Florida with GTA 6, so they probably will. They'll steer clear of that. But yeah, that is all the fallout from Fallout. But staying in the film TV universe, there was an announcement of a new casting for the Sonicverse, with Keanu Reeves joining the Sonic movie as Shadow.
I think this is perfect.
I genuinely really love that.
It's so
I think
good.
that is something that, I don't know, there's something really nice and cozy and wholesome to me about the fact that Keanu Reeves looked at it and went, yeah, fuck yeah.
I just want it to be a perfect transposing of all of his lines from John Wick, but just as Shadow.
Well, there's Johnny Mnemonic playing John Wick, doing Shadow's lines.
It'd be so good.
It feels like a weird thing. I mean, there was a great interview with Idris Elba where they asked him what he thought of the casting, and he went, "Wait, what?" Like he didn't know the casting had happened. It'd been announced everywhere. And he's like, "What? That's happening?" Because obviously there's the Knuckle TV show right now, which is he's promoting.
Yeah.
So he missed all that information.
This is really random, but that really reminds me of, I don't know if you've seen the clip of it. There's a red carpet interview where an interviewer says to Kevin Hart, how do you feel about the fact that Zayn has left One Direction? And he freaks out because he's like, what? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? Why?
Nope, you're right, that is random. That's a random
It just
thought.
reminds me of it.
This gives me the same sort of vibe as when Idris Elba was announced to be Knuckles.
Oh,
we were all like,
what the fuck?
what? And then it came out and he was apparently fucking great.
Yeah. I've seen both the Sonic films. I enjoyed them.
I mean, Idris Elba did Cats though, so
Yeah.
anybody who's
It's an
in
odd guy.
Cats, I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm.
Who
You
knows?
could do anything.
Yeah.
Should we move back into the world of gaming?
Yeah,
Avoid film and
please.
TV, and talk about how players don't know how to have fun and will lock themselves out of trophies by killing all the automatons.
This was my favourite news story of the month.
Go for it, Darren.
In everyone's new favourite game, Helldivers 2, the way it's been built is essentially there is one guy at Arrowhead Studios, I think his name, who basically acts as
Is it Jeff? His name is.
I think his name is Jeff, and he is Helldivers DM.
Yep.
And he basically decides what the orders are going to be, what enemy factions are going to be, what planets are going to be. He basically decides like the way the whole game
Plays out. Yeah.
And the players did really well, and they defeated all the automatons. They defeated one of the factions. They erased them from the map. Perfect. Everyone's really happy. Surprise, there's a trophy that's exclusive to killing a particular type of automaton in a certain way, and people just fucking locked themselves out of the platinum.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that's so frustrating.
It has since changed.
It has been fixed. The automatons are back. But for a while there, people were like, oh,
Oh my god.
we can't beat our game now.
And it was literally because he hadn't put any like defense orders over on that side for ages, so people were just wiping planets
Yep.
and just working their way across.
Beating the game.
And yeah, so people were locked out of the platinum for a
And
brief
see,
time.
that's how we know propaganda works.
Yeah, there was too much democracy. There was too much democracy.
There was.
There was a fuck ton of democracy.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Great
yeah,
game.
people locked themselves out of the game, but now people are locked out of different games because 3DS and Wii U services are dead.
Rip.
Yeah, so basically Nintendo went, you can't get anything from 3DS and Wii U online services now.
Yeah.
They're gone. That's it. We're not supporting them, which I understand. I do get it. You've got to there's got to be a line where you just you draw a line in the sand and go, sorry, they are dead consoles. Down.
Yeah, in a way I understand it, but also like there are, especially in the scope of like how the 3DS ran, how the Wii U ran,
Yeah.
there is thousands of titles that are now just dead.
Yeah.
There were like 3DS digital exclusive titles that just no longer exist now.
But I guess it begs the question though, how long do you let a console stay alive for? Do you know what I mean? Because it's been a fucking long time and a lot of evolution since then.
I'm fine with like all the servers being shut. I think that is a natural part of the process. But I think in some way you have to like you have to document it in some way.
Yeah.
Like I assume like each company has a master of their game or something.
Yeah.
But I just don't like the idea that there was a game that released in, I don't know, fucking mid 2018 digitally on the 3DS and everyone loved it and now it's dead.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
if you discover a list this year, next year, that's like, oh, these are amazing games of this genre, and one of them was a digital only 3DS title, you cannot play that game. It doesn't exist anymore.
And it sort of goes for that why games as a service doesn't work, because you lose what something you've essentially bought or you want to get, you can't get because it's all digital, which is a problem.
Also, it's like there's new gamers entering the hobby every day. And someone who's like, oh, I really like this genre of game, I'm going to look up lists of what the best ones. Half of those games aren't going to be playable.
No.
Yeah.
Because their stores don't exist anymore. You can't buy them. You can't download them.
So there's only one way to do it, really, is to use ROMs.
Yep.
Which is where Delta
Oh, you
comes
are absolutely killing the segue.
Someone
today.
put the work in.
Fucking hell.
in. So Delta has now launched on iPhone. So Delta is an emulator. That's what it is. iPhones have been notoriously difficult to get emulators on, but Apple have recently changed their terms and conditions within the store and how things work, so you can now get emulators there. Delta is now the #1 free app on iPhone since it came out. So much so that if you type in Delta in America, you get the app for this before the airline.
Yeah. Great. Love that.
Which shows that gamers are very real. So you now get those and you can then download ROMs. Obviously, you're not allowed to do that because that's illegal. Even if you own the game, there are places you can buy it to download a ROM, but that's illegal. But most people are doing them illegally. Don't do that. Although, let's be honest, we all want to play some games.
Well, this is a big debate in the gaming world at the minute, is that obviously piracy's bad. Just full stop that one.
Piracy's bad, okay.
But there's this idea of, should it be bad if it's the only way to play the game?
Yep.
Like, if the game isn't being sold anymore,
Yeah.
no one is... It's like a victimless crime at that point.
Yeah.
Because if the game's not being sold, no one's losing money because you can't buy it anyway.
Yeah.
You just want to play the game.
That's it.
And that was a lot of the discussion of, like, it's fine. People are saying it's fine in that circumstance. Obviously, it's like people do it for new AAA titles, and I think that's shitty. I get it, but I think it's shitty. But also, like, if you can't buy the game anymore, if it's like a 20-year-old game that you cannot legally purchase anymore, fuck it.
Yeah, that's it. Or, fan-made ones. Like, for example, if you're playing the Pokemon, there's the Rocket type. Which is, download that because, fuck it, they weren't getting money for it. They've put the time in, they just want people to enjoy it. And play
exactly.
Also, I think it is different when you're playing things like, for example, Pokemon, where these titles that you've got ROMs for, they were a really particular console, being Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, that sort of thing. It's not like, I've bought really old games that you can't buy physically for the PC anymore through things like GOG and stuff like that, and that's fine because like that I think I bought an old game that I played for ages for like $3.99 on GOG and it runs fine and everything, but that's a legal, legible way to get it. Unless you have, for some reason, and I'm very jealous if you do, some like old dusty fucking Game Boy Color in the corner of your room, which I'm so jealous that you have that.
I do.
Like for someone like myself who lost that fucking Game Boy Color ages and ages and ages ago, there's literally no other way I can do it because I'm not buying a Game Boy Color for fucking £1,000 off eBay. It ain't happening.
They're running at like 80, 90 quid, but then like you can buy now like essentially Game Boy Color style things which have all of these games on there.
There's
as well.
one called the Analog Pocket. I think it's a really popular one at the minute. And I always think about buying one.
Thousands of games in there, so you can just scroll through and play the one you want to.
Always tempted.
And it's hard to not want to do that when you see big companies try and lock you out of content straight away. For example, Star Wars Outlaws.
Oh my god!
You cannot get to the Jabba the Hutt missions without buying the season pass.
You are legitimately just bending these segues over and making a bitch.
This is super villain behaviour.
It is.
This season pass stuff.
They have literally been promoting Jabba the Hutt in all of their promo stuff and then gone, but if you want to play it, £120 please for the game.
That's fucking ludicrous. I remember you telling me about this last week, and it's just fucking greedy is what it is. It's so fucking greedy.
The thing is, this is nothing new.
No, it's not.
No.
This has been going on for ages. You get random bonus missions. The earliest one I personally remember is in the original release of Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. You had like Copernicus missions, and they were exclusive to buying the digital deluxe version of the game. However, when you are making a game that is specifically based around the outlaw factions of Star Wars and the Outer Rim worlds, and you lock Jabba the Hutt behind your bonus missions, that's fucking that's some slimy shit.
Because I'm not sure, and I need to do a little bit more research probably, but Jabba the Hutt, the missions that Jabba the Hutt gives are from there. I don't know if you're still able to see Jabba the Hutt without getting it, or he's on like a different planet and he's in a different place, you can't get there. The worst bit is, everyone was so excited for this. I remember being excited when I saw it, it looked really good, and then they go, here you go, August 30th, and everyone was, fucking hell, that's a lot sooner than we thought it was going to be. And everyone was there, and they thought, and also this is in there, and you're like, what did you just cough over? What did you say? I go, you're totally doing like, thanks greedy fucking EA.
Oh my god, that was actually a really good
Jabba,
Nice.
That's what EA are at the moment. They're just
oh, it's
get
EA.
money how you can. It is EA.
Of course it's EA.
Get money how you can get money.
EA are the worst I would say for these sort of tactics. They always have been. I know Ubisoft are pretty ropey around stuff as well at the moment, but everyone is falling into
Ubisoft are worse for in-game stuff.
Yes.
Ubisoft will overload their games with microtransactions, which I don't mind. I mind this a lot.
That's it. I don't care if you're going to go, hey, buy a bunch of stuff. It's all cosmetic based. Great. It's like when Dragon's Dogma 2 came out and masses of people went crazy because of the microtransactions. They're like, you can buy this, you can buy this, you can buy this. You can earn it all in the game in next to no time.
Yeah.
They're like, you could buy this currency, like, yeah, but if I play the game for 20 minutes, I will have enough currency to it. It's, if you're lazy and want to buy your way through it,
have fun.
fine. You fucking do that. I mean, I don't like it, and I'd rather there weren't microtransactions in single player games. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
But I understand going, hey, you really enjoyed that game? Well, we made some extra content for you. Here it is. We've built it with this extra content already hidden behind this paywall, and it's the stuff that you actually want. It just feels unfair.
To go back to my normal segment of shitting on the gaming community on our gaming podcast, I do think part of it, especially in the case of Dragon's Dogma, is people get like a like the not like other girls' opinion, where they're like, oh, Dragon's Dogma is one of the good games, and then it has microtransactions. They feel betrayed. Whereas EA doesn't. They're like, oh, it's just EA. Or Ubisoft does it. It's just that.
But it's Capcom, and Capcom are like one of the worst. Look at Monster Hunter.
Exactly. But people just like, oh, Dragon's Dogma is one of the good ones. It won't betray us, and then it does.
I mean,
because all
Resi's
games
got a
betray.
million microtransactions in it as well.
Yeah.
Like, it's just...
But I don't mind it, because again, as you say, if you want to pay some money to skip like an hour of a grind, you fucking go ahead. You have fun.
Like, I don't do microtransactions myself.
No.
I think the only time I've ever done them recently is probably when I was playing Madden, because I was like, you know what, I'd like to buy a better player.
Yeah.
And I did it.
That's
and
the only time I do it.
And it was unnecessary. I knew it was unnecessary, but I thought, fuck it, let's just do it, because I've got £5 left over from credit from Christmas. Let's just throw it on a microtransaction.
It's exactly that. It'll be like, oh, you can easily get the coins in game, and especially like from experience, this Madden just piles fucking coins at you. You never need to spend real money in this one.
No.
But like, it will give you, oh, you can spend this amount of real money for a pack, or you can spend like a £5 and get 3. And I'm like, if you've got a £5 lying around, fuck it.
Yeah,
I'm not spending on anything better.
No, and that's it. And so if that's how you want to play, that's how you want to play. But this is just greedy. It seems like EA are looking at one colour, which is...
It's green.
It's green. And talking of green, Persona 6 has been announced.
Yeah.
And it is a
I like how you
green
pointed
game.
at me for that, as if I was gonna know.
What's the colour of Bunny?
It's actually pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I was sat here excited because I knew what the segue was.
Yeah, so it's
So I was
not
like,
much there.
green.
Yeah, it's Persona 6 has had its colour announced. It shouldn't be shocking. It's green, because Persona 3 was blue.
Yep.
Persona 4 was yellow.
Yep.
Persona 5 was red.
And now we're green.
Now we're green for Persona 6, and that's the big thing about Persona.
My favourite part of this discussion has been people trying to retroactively work out what colours the first two are, and no one's really sure.
Black and white, I'd guess.
The first one is... What did I read? I think people say the second one is red, but there's a lot of discourse around that.
Right.
I've seen like 4 different colours for the first one. I think I've seen black, white, purple, and something else.
It feels like 1 and 2 are sort of like these mythic, unknown properties now at this stage.
No one remembers them.
No one remembers them. But yeah, Persona 6 is green, and that's about it.
Good for it.
There were a couple of things that happened this month as well. There was the BAFTAs. They did do all their games announcements. There was no real shocks there, but it was nice to see that Hi-Fi Rush won something. I was very happy to see
Good for it.
But there was also the Indie World Showcase that came out last week at the point of recording. It came
Shout
out on
out
the
to indie
17th, which was Nintendo's Indie Game Showcase. 20 minutes of indie games. Now, I want to say this as nicely as possible. Might be one of the worst hosted things I have ever seen in my life. They started out with a reference. Do you remember there was that court case during the pandemic, I'm pretty sure, where a guy accidentally, like a prosecutor came up with a cat face and he'd accidentally put an AI screen on?
Oh, yeah.
You know, that really old reference. That's how they decided to start up this,
Good.
with a reference to that.
Lovely.
Because they were doing Little Kitty, Big City.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Right.
that's really old. That is
Yeah.
such an old reference. And also, the hosts were insufferable. I just hated the hosts throughout this. And to be honest, I didn't really care much for the games. I wasn't like, oh, I've got to see these. But I would say there are a few games that might be worth discussion or looking at. Steamworld Heist 2 was the one that closed out the showcase. People seem excited for that. I've got no strong feelings towards it. It just was
They're all
there.
big games, though. They're apparently pretty good.
Cat Quest 3 was announced. People seem to love the Cat Quest games.
I saw bits of this. I just think it looks adorable. I kind of want to give it a go.
You play as a cat with a sword.
Yeah, he goes on a
Play as
quest.
a cat seems to be a theme.
Yes, because they also did Little Kitty, Big City, where you play as like a little cat going off exploring. It's basically ADHD cat goes off, gets distracted on topics, and just pushes things off of walls, I think.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
Which feels like a fun little game.
That sounds like, to a cat owner, that just sounds like
A regular day.
cat. Yeah.
The one game that I was like, oh, this actually is cool, I had no idea this was happening, was a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. Splintered Fate, which is a roguelike game with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in an isometric sort of style view. Just looks really fun and cool. I mean, I like a roguelike, and I like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so who would have thought that I would like them?
It's pretty good.
And the last one we're going to talk about is Duck Detective, which got 40 seconds in here, but for some reason has captured the hearts of everyone.
I thought it looked really cute. It's got a real nice sense of humour to it. And it's basically just, from what was shown in the little trailer, you are a duck detective solving who keeps stealing lunch from the office fridge.
I love that. I
And
love that.
It's a lot of like you talk to people and you get notes from them, and then it will be, I think you said they are deductions.
You have to make deductions, yes.
Where it will be
Beautiful.
like, this person looks blank, and
Yeah.
it will give you like 3 options, and based on the information you got from other people, you'll be like, oh, that one.
Oh my god, it's Alan Wake 2 but with ducks.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it.
I love that.
Alan Wake 2 with
Yeah.
ducks. And that was pretty much it. There was a few other games in there. Probably something you enjoyed, something we've missed out. So if there is anything that you think we should have given a bit more time to, let us know. Should we look at what we've been playing, though? Because that was
Yeah.
all the news I got for this month. Let's look at what we've actually been doing ourselves. What
Yeah.
have we been playing?
Games.
Karis, do you want to go with anything big that you want to talk about this month?
Yeah, I've had quite a nice little month of gaming. But just kind of returning to stuff, nothing really massively new. The only new thing that I have is that I finally did get the Rift in Time expansion for Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Okay.
Darren was searching his mind like, what the fuck expansion is this?
It sounds like a Ratchet and Clank
Yes.
game.
Yeah,
And I was like,
yeah. It's and I was pleasantly surprised by it after actually, because it's expensive. It was £25, but it is essentially
Because it's the same price as the base game, isn't it?
yeah, but it's essentially
Okay,
the base
that's
game on top of the base
important
game.
context.
Yeah, it's essentially the base game on top of the base game, because you get like 3 new biomes, you get
Okay.
extra characters, you get pretty much the game all over again, just in a different location with new things to do, and it is really fun. I've been really enjoying it actually. It's really good.
I have like come in and you go, I'm just gonna play this for a little bit and then I'll jump into something else, and I come back in 2 hours later, you're still like dink,
Yeah,
dink,
yeah, it's
mining away.
horrifically addictive, especially like knowing that I have new places now. So if I mine new places, I get new things, and I get like new plants, and I get new things to do, and it's oh god, it just sucks the
good
life
loop.
out of your life.
It's so close to that sort of classic I'd say mobile game mentality.
Yeah.
You know, it's like do you remember The Simpsons Tapped Out, where it just took over everyone for a while, where they're like, just put this on to do it, I'll come back in half an hour and I'll check it again, and I'll check it.
Yeah.
It's that sort of quick dopamine drip of,
Yeah.
I don't have to think much, I'm just gonna do this.
It's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's like a real switch off thing, and it's great, and I loved it.
It's your adult Sims,
It is my adult Sims, yeah.
which is probably more childish than Sims.
Sims, yeah. And when a new Sims comes out, you bet your ass I'm going to be on that too.
And that will be free to play. So.
Yeah. And then the other thing I did as well, which I did tell myself I wasn't going to do, but I couldn't resist it, is after my last Resi stream, I was like, I just want to see how much I've got left, and I ended up finishing it.
Not much then.
Not much at all. In fact, if you do come along to my next stream, it may only be like a little bit, because there's
Nice.
really not much else to do on it.
And then you start the other story.
And then I did, yeah. I went in and decided to do, because in Resi 2 you can do Claire's story and then Leon's story, or vice versa. So I went in and did and started Leon's story, and it's fucking class. It's a bit harder than Claire's one, but yeah, I'm really enjoying it. I do want to go for the platinum on it, although it scares me. And yeah, I've been really enjoying Leon's part of it. It's cool to see it from like a different perspective and do things in a slightly different order. I don't love the fact that, spoiler alert, Mr. X comes out a lot earlier in
Yeah.
Leon's story.
He's a good man.
Yeah,
he's a good
hate
guy.
that. Really hate that. We all know that I love a stalker enemy so much, and I really did not enjoy that
You're
at
gonna
all.
love 3.
Oh god.
I've only played Leon's. I don't know when he comes out in Claire's.
Oh, in Claire's is later.
Okay.
Claire's
Yeah.
is later. You get less exposure to him as Claire.
I have a lot of issues with him in Leon's, because I just wish he'd fuck off and let me play the game.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, is that the worst thing about Mr. X, right, is that out of all the stalkers, he's actually the least scary for me, because he's horrifying, but then all he does is fucking punch you in the face.
He's just annoying. When you're doing the bookshelf puzzle, you're like, mate, can you
fuck off and stop punching me in the face? Like,
it's less the vibe of like a villain chasing you,
Yeah.
and the vibe of when someone stands too close to you in the supermarket aisle, and you're
Yeah.
like, can you?
but then you know what? Then it turns from that as if the guy in the supermarket aisle took your hand and was like, "Stop hitting yourself! Stop
Yeah.
hitting yourself! Stop hitting yourself!" You're like, "Fuck off! My god!"
You guys you're gonna love Nemesis in
Yeah.
3,
Oh my
because he's
gosh.
even worse. Because I can't remember in 2, but in 3, I don't think safe zones are actually safe from Nemesis.
Oh, fuck off!
I think that's right.
No way.
I'm pretty sure he's there when you're trying to save and shit.
Ew. See, now that happens. Didn't that happen in Madhouse with Jack Baker? Because I remembered
can't remember.
specifically going into somewhere I thought was safe, and then he just kicked open the door, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here?"
I'm pretty sure in Madhouse I had a run up next to me and I just ran it without saving it. I just kept going.
Oh my god. So yeah, I have been enjoying that. That's been really good. And I think the last one, I know I talked about being burnt out on it, but I was invited by my friends Lydia, Kaz, and Stephen to try.
Bragging about all those friends.
I know.
They almost sound like made up names though.
I did the Quarry online co-op for the first time. I've never done that online with anybody. I've always just played it by myself, and it was great fun because Lydia's whole attitude to it was, "I'm going to make the worst decisions possible."
And there's nothing you can do about it.
Well, there is, because it's a weird one. I didn't realise on co-op that it goes by votes, basically. So every time Lydia wanted to make a bad decision and we decided not to, she was like, "For fuck's sake, guys!"
I can see myself being corrupted in that scenario.
Yeah, and
At the start, you pick the right answer, and then as it goes on, you're like, nah, fuck it.
And to be fair, I think that was the fun thing about it, was that having played it so often myself as well, there were times where they'd be like, "Oh, I don't know what to do," and I'd be like, "I'm just going to pick the bad one with Lydia because I think it'd be more fun." I mean, bear in mind, everybody in the party was like, "I want all of these people to die." So I was like, okay, right, let's just fucking wing it.
What I was thinking of was Hidden Agenda. Do you remember Hidden Agenda?
Yeah.
I was just about to bring up Hidden Agenda,
Because that was slightly different. There was voting, but a lot of it was like, if you're the fastest, you get to make the decision.
Yeah.
I remember playing it, I think it was one Christmas with you, Gareth, and
My
your parents. And I kept winning all the things.
Yeah.
You were like, they're all like, "We're going to do this." And then I just win the fucking thing.
Yeah.
I just do the complete opposite just to fuck with
You
it.
see my dad in the corner, like, stressed as fuck, being like, "Josh, why?"
But it's like a microcosm of the overcooked feeling of you see everyone's votes, you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
I can't relate to that because Josh hates playing Overcooked with me because I get too overwhelmed and then I just do circles.
That's because you're the target of the what the fuck are you doing. You're not the one with that attitude.
I do circles with the fire extinguisher in the corner. That's what I get overwhelmed by the chaos.
We've done that as a 4-person.
We have,
and it was good.
It was chaos because me
It's
and
us
Darren,
managing food.
me and Darren just do this, and you getting very angry. You get in the way.
Chaos.
Of course, Lauren gets angry with that as well.
She descends.
Yeah, she just said.
We are like either end of the scale, and she starts at the helpful end and just moves down the line as the timer ticks down.
But yeah, as in regards to like playing online with other people, I've been playing some Resi 6. I started that the other night. It's crap. It's funny.
It's crap.
Straight up, it's crap. Full
It's
stop.
bad. But it's funny. I'm enjoying it. So yeah, Resi 6. I think is a bad game. Do not play it on your own. Is what I'm going to say. Play it with another person. What was really weird is I didn't realise this. People could join as zombies.
Yeah.
What? Or something. We were just defending a house and someone went, "This person started up," someone with Pedro in his name. And I was like, "Oh, Pedro."
Pedro.
It wasn't the singing raccoon.
No.
No, it's all right.
We'll show you
We'll
Pedro.
show you.
Okay.
But he
That
just
sounds
showed up.
threatening.
He just came in, and I couldn't work out who he was, but we assumed he was like one of the bigger ones. And we
Right.
just beat the living hell out of him as soon as he appeared.
That's nice.
But good fun. I've also, going back to last episode, I said that I was playing Rise of the Ronin and Dragon's Dogma, but I'd only played like a couple of hours because I'm very close to recording. Since then, I've got the Platinum in Rise of the Ronin. What an underwhelming game that was, unfortunately. Combat is definitely not where it should be. The world is bloated. The story, I didn't care about it. And then you can go back in time and change events, which is fun, but just for doing it to get the Platinum trophy felt unnecessary. I think it might be my least favourite of their properties so far. I mean, I loved Wolong. I think I'm in
That's
minority.
a typical opinion I've heard.
Yeah.
Is that even people who like it are like, yeah, it doesn't stack up to.
It's not as good as Ghost. It's not as good as the Wolong games. It just had two ideas, and they went, "You guys both work on your two separate ideas, but you're going to get half the funding, and then we're going to push it together."
Yeah.
And it just doesn't quite work. But overall, I don't think it's a bad game. If it comes on the PS Plus, I fully would recommend it. If you can get it for about 20 quid, go for it. But it's not worth that £60 price that it came out with originally.
That's fair.
Although I can see the love that was put into it, and I mean, I enjoy collecting cats, but I don't know if I was just playing it for the sake of playing it by the end of it, just to get the platinum on there. And that's always a disappointment, especially when they go, like, you can explore all this world. You go, cool, I'll explore this world. He's like, oh, but you should have done a bit more of the story first. You're like, okay, I'll do a bit more of the story now. But, oh, look, now you can learn how to glide. But I went, I found a glider 4 hours ago.
Yeah.
That was like an upgrade to this glider that you're now giving me. So I already know all this. What? It just either forced me down a path and let me go out, or it just didn't know quite how to do itself.
That's
Whilst the Wolong, and I don't know if Neo is the same way, but like you've got the hub world and they go, do this mission, hub world, do this mission. This is like, go off.
Neo's a bit more of a it has like a world map essentially with the missions in their order and their
That's
recommended
good,
levels and stuff, so it nicely fun to see.
Dragon's Dogma 2 is my favourite game of the year so far.
Cool.
But it's also a game that you can go in there and feel horribly overwhelmed for, because there's just so much choice and options. But I'm loving just making different characters. Turns out if you want your pawn to do well, other people to pick them up, dress them like a slut.
Yep.
And they will just choose your
Accurate.
pawn over the other ones.
Makes sense.
And that's about it. Basically, you make a companion called a pawn.
No, I understand, but every time you talk about making a pawn, which is why Dress Like a Slut didn't quite surprise me. But yeah.
New game of the month that I played, brand new release, Harold Halibut.
Oh, yeah.
So Harold Halibut, 14 years in development. Those who don't know what it is, it's basically they've made a stop motion claymation game where you are in an underwater world. Basically, you have been on a rocket ship that's crashed on another planet because of nuclear war, which Keris is very
lovely.
scared of. You get sent
Scary
away
game.
to do that, and it crashes, and now you're living in this sort of underwater because the whole area around it is like full of
I
toxic
like the way you
gases.
pronounced that underwater the first time.
Yes, thank you.
You angled really heavily towards Underworld, and then realised that wasn't right.
Underworld.
But basically, it's a bunch of fetch quests. You're walking from one point
Okay.
to the next point to talk to someone, and you just walking through the same areas. I think the story's quite cool. It's got quite a lot there. I think a lot of it unravels as you go further on. I'm pretty sure that the actual home planet didn't explode, and I'm pretty sure. And this is like I'm about an hour in, and I'm pretty sure that's the case. I'm pretty sure there's life in the water that we might be able to interact with, and I'm pretty sure that someone on the ship is keeping us repressed and all this sort of thing. So but it's all quite clear where it's going. There are some funny little interactions. It looks very nice. It just doesn't quite hit home on any point. And you can go, I can see everything that should be happening here, but you've just missed a little bit. But as like a debut thing, it's visually so cool, so nice looking. So I would recommend it. It's free right now on Xbox Game Pass. So if you've got it, just do that. And I think that's the way I would recommend it. I wouldn't recommend buying it, although I don't want them to fail, obviously. But just do it that way. But the game I've been playing the most this month is Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Is it good?
Whew, it is at points. There's a lot of we're going to walk slowly down this path.
Hell yeah.
It feels very much like they've dragged an hour, 3 hours maybe worth of gameplay into 30 hours.
Correct.
But I liked certain bits of it. The only thing I'm not enjoying right now is I went back to do the hard missions on it, and fuck me, the difference in hard to what it was is unreal. I can't beat the first boss, and it crushed all hopes and dreams.
Yep. There's a bit in the middle of that game where you fight a house, and it's so fucking hard on hard. It's unreal.
I mean, I messaged you when I got it. I was like, why the fuck am I fighting a house?
Yeah, why not?
And then the next message I see that I send you is, why am I doing a dance?
Correct.
So this is sort of how the game is. I mean, I can understand why people love Final Fantasy VII, why it's such a love game. It's the characters, it's how they interact. I've got favourites, I've got people I don't like. But my God, they just drag it out. I wish the game that I played was about 10 hours shorter.
Yeah.
And I wish that I'd understood what I would need to do to go back to hard. Like, I feel like I need to go back to a point, buy all the materia so that there's enough to
upgrade
spread.
all the materia.
Well, it's just a spread to everyone, because like I was like, I've got one of everything, that's fine. But then you go to your party and you do the hard one. I'm like, fuck, I need HP up materia on all three of us if we want any chance to survive, and MP up, because I can't use items now, because why the fuck make everything harder and go, no, all those thousands of items you've got, you've been hoarding for hard mode, mean absolute bullshit now.
Yeah.
I literally had hundreds of every type of potion ready to go for hard mode, and they went, oh, you wanted to use
Can't use items in battle.
And I was like, no, I'll just wank perfunctory in the corner then, shall I, over these? What the hell? So yeah, Final Fantasy VII. It was fine. The remake. How's Rebirth?
Really good. Rebirth's fucking killer. I haven't finished it yet. I've just passed the 60-hour mark.
Okay.
Do you know on PS5 how for some games it gives you like the percentage of how far you are through the section? Never been more demoralised by that percentage in playing this fucking game. I am in chapter 13 of 14.
Yep.
I've been in chapter 13, I think, for about 4 or 5 hours. And I must be getting pretty close to the end. I've just had 2 back-to-back boss battles against a faction called the Turks, who you have also encountered.
Yes, I have.
And then I went to the PlayStation menu to, funnily enough, come here to record. And that 45% is fucking rude. It's like, you are 45% of the way through chapter 13. I'm like, are you fucking joking?
Oh my god!
But it's phenomenal. It's so much fun. The story's so great. It's got a lot more like character than Remake does. Like something that a lot of people are talking about is how much funnier it is than Remake.
Right. Yeah.
There's a great running joke throughout the DLC for Remake into this one that you meet Yuffie, who is a ninja from Wutai, and she has a big like introductory speech she does, and it's got all fancy fucking effects and everything, and it's the exact same every time. It's clearly rehearsed so perfectly to be like, I'm gonna join you, or like, you're gonna help me to achieve this goal. And you see it like 4 times during the DLC. You see it 3 times while you're following just her during Rebirth, and then she finally gets to the group and she does the whole routine. It's word perfect. It's the exact same details every time. And she's like standing there, posed all fancy, and Cloud just goes, cool. And just keeps walking. And it's so funny. Everyone's got a lot more like charm. Cloud comes off as a bit of a dickhead in Remake.
He comes across as a miserable fucking cunt.
In Rebirth, he clearly just has the social skills of a broom.
I mean, on reflection, I understand why he's a miserable cunt, because you go, he's become a soldier and now he's left the soldiers, and you go, oh, right, and they go, oh yeah, and soldiers have been pumped full of all this shit and they're going to die in like 2 years. You're like, wait, what? So he already knows he's dead in like 2 years and he's like 12 years old or whatever he is. And you go, I understand, I empathise. You go, well, what's the point of me sitting around here for half an hour, like an hour, waiting for you to do shit when I've got limited time? I understand.
Everyone's got a lot more character, a lot more charm. It's great fun. The only problem I have with it is
It's Barrett.
I quite like Barrett in this one. He's a lot more fun. He's a lot more fun in Rebirth. The pacing of it is a bit weird.
Right.
In terms of the chapter lengths. Like 1, 2, 3 go by super quick. 4 is pretty long. 5 and 6 go by super quick. 7 super long. But like chapter 13 I think has to be at least 7 or 8 hours long.
Jesus Christ.
Chapter 3 I think was 45 minutes.
Right, so it's just,
But it's not even like that prolonged. Chapter 12 was, I think, a couple hours. Chapter 11 was, I think, like 5. It just spans very randomly.
Yeah.
But a lot of those are like a chapter will dump you at the start of an open area with a bunch of side shit.
Around and
it goes, you'll finish this chapter at the end of this big area. Have fun. And like, I think chapter 10 I spent so long in because I just fucked around doing all the side shit. But then you have ones like 11 which are no side shit at all. They're just straightforward.
I mean, you like long games though, don't you?
I do. I've had a lot of fun with it. I have 2 more games I got new this month that I want to talk about. One of them is Pacific Drive, which I saw in a state of play forever ago, forgot it existed, saw it came out, and then its physical version was coming out. I went, yeah, why not? The plot of that is basically there is a big area in Oregon called the Exclusion Zone where funky shit is happening that no one can quite explain. They wall it off, and that's just how it be.
Ghosts.
Oh, cool.
You are driving past the exclusion zone to deliver a package to someone, and you get basically sucked into it.
Oh.
And you find a car in the exclusion zone that has a fancy name, and I'm annoyed because I can't think what the fancy name is.
Of the car.
But it essentially means it describes its roguelike nature by everything shifts when you're not like directly involved in it. Bits of landscape like shift and move around.
I doubt it's called the 1983 station wagon.
That's probably the type of car, but basically the term they use means that it doesn't change. It always just remains as the car. And the idea is basically you have these roguelike chains where you go into an area, you collect things, you collect resources, you get out of the area. and you chain them together one after the next after the next. I've played, I think, like 4 or 5 hours of it. Having a lot of fun.
I gotta be honest, I forgot about this as well. The second you went, I'm getting this month, I had a little quick check and I went, oh, that looks fucking cool. And I was like, right, hold off, Josh, don't buy it because Darren will finish it at some point.
It's a really interesting vibe. It's really cool. I love it's got a real like 80s aesthetic to it.
It's got the vibe, I'd say, of something that I wouldn't be shocked if it had like a day one release on PS Plus at some. You know,
Yeah.
If it had that, I'd be
Yeah.
like, oh, I completely get this. Like they go, it's a cheap enough game. We're just going to put money here. People will want to buy it because of that.
It's got a lot of like crafting aspects, upgrade aspects. The only problem I have with it is it's a bit clunky in terms of its UI and its interface. Like working out how to do things and how things pair together is a bit awkward.
Yeah.
An example I had from my first time playing it was it said, build this tool, and for that you'll need this particular item. And I'm like, okay, game, what does that look like and where can I get it? Nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. And because it told me next to a certain building, I'm like, oh, it's tutorializing me. It's in this building. It's not. It was halfway across the level in another building.
Right.
And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, obviously that's what this is. But because you gave that to me next to this building and they gave me no other information to go on, fucking just
You can
wandered
tell
around
it's an
there for
indie
10
game where
minutes.
it's not been quality controlled quite as much as you expect. But yeah, that's
Very,
that's
very
cool.
good. The other new game I played this month was Unicorn Overlord. I played like 4 hours of this game, and it is fucking phenomenal.
The worst bit is I sort of want Darren to finish this so I can get that game as well, but I know it's going to be hundreds of hours before I ever see this
I
game.
looked it up on how long to beat because I was curious, and either main story or mains and sides is in the 70s.
Fuck it out.
This is, you are Prince... What is his name?
I mean,
Elaine, I think is his
I
name.
would Google it, but when I Googled the car's name, it told me his name was Jimmy the Car.
Good.
So, I don't think that I don't think I'm finding the right
I think his
stuff
name's
today.
Prince Elaine, and basically you have a flashback at the start where you're a child and your kingdom gets overtaken, and then you've gone to this Iron Nation, you've trained up, and you're now coming back to lead the rebellion. And the way it works is you have real-time strategy battles. I don't know quite how to describe them. You build units. Battles are done automatically within units, but you have like a battle map where you pause and you go, this unit go there, this unit go there, this unit go there, and then you unpause and it runs in real time.
To them, and then when they fight, you then select if they're going to attack or defend as well, don't you? As well,
Nope.
I thought you could in the demo.
That might be like an aspect of how you set it up,
Right.
but normally you just leave it.
Oh,
They
that's
run
fine.
into each other and you go, yes. And then
perfect.
it runs itself through. You can even skip them.
Oh, I like.
But the game's basically like, don't skip it, because if this goes wrong, you might want to know why.
Yeah,
I'm like, good point, game.
I like.
But that is half the time. The other half is just a really nice little overworld area where you walk around the world. It's the same as the battle maps, basically. It just zooms in on them, and then you do it like in the world. But there's like resources to pick up. There's towns on the map which you can upgrade with deliveries, and then you can leave members of your party there. You can still use them in battle, but they like collect resources and they collect favor and basically upgrade the town.
Keris
landscape and
is
stuff.
thinking about this like this is the worst sort of board game that she hates being forced to play.
Absolutely.
She's like, this sounds like, you know, you're doing some sort of resource management, some sort of scythe bullshit
Yeah.
going on, and she's like,
Yeah,
oh,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I totally understand the appeal, but I immediately, I just know it's not for me.
You'd hate the like unit setup then, because there's like 10 different types of unit. And to be fair to it, this is one of my favourite features this game has. Every time it introduces a new unit, it gives you like a recommendation of who to pair it with.
Right.
So like it gives you one called a Hoplite, which is a dude with a big fucking shield. And it basically says pair him with your cleric, because like he will defend and deal damage and she'll just heal him up.
I was thinking about it. I was like, this is. I love the sound of this, but this is like if I imagine Keris is listening to this the same way that if I was friends with someone who like I love my car, so I'm taking it apart every day. I'm just making the slight tweak because it might run a slight. I'm like,
Yeah, same thoughts.
couldn't give a singular
Like,
fuck about
yeah.
that.
Lovely for you, but do you know what else is fun? What sounds like an equal amount of fun? A gun in the mouth. Like,
So
Like-
when we first discussed this game, we discussed the nature of vanilla, where it's a developer to make niche bangers.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what this is.
Yeah.
This is a me game. Even the way it's built, I love it. The main objective is to the right.
Yep.
You cannot go to the right because one direction is a broken bridge and another direction is a settlement that's like 4 levels above you.
And One Direction Kevin Hart was very upset.
He
was.
very upset. But what the game wants you to do...
Let's look editing around these two comments.
What the game wants you to do in leading a rebellion is go the other way and, like, you pick up people as you go. So you pick up, like, an archer, you pick up a cleric, you pick up things like that. And then one of the settlement you go to that's, like, 5 levels higher, you eventually come at it from another direction, you beat it, you recruit the guy who is controlling the settlement, who's a builder, so he can repair the bridge to go the other way.
So it's like that sort of it's trying to give you the illusion of decision of where you're going, but it's actually allowing you to collect everything you need to.
The level curve tells you where you're going, but it is just like the objective's that way. Yeah. You can't go that way. Get fucked if you try.
That's good.
But now play the rest of the game that's over here.
Brilliant.
And then you'll make your way over there in time.
I'm very excited for both of those games to eventually get. I feel like Pacific Drive might come quicker.
Yes. You'll get Rebirth first.
That's probably it. So that's what we've been playing this month. There's a lot of games. We've all been playing a lot, so it helps. Even though I've been struggling to play games, I can't concentrate.
I've been struggling as well. I don't know what it's been.
I don't know what's going on. April is not designed for playing games.
No.
So should we move on to games that we've been forced to play? Not forced to play. We've been fortunate enough to be given in PS Plus.
So happy.
Good or bad?
I'm very confused about this month.
Yeah.
I think it's a bad month.
I think it's alright.
I think quality-wise, towards the bad end. I do think it is the perfect PS Plus month because it's so fucking wild in what it's given out that, like, everyone will enjoy something here. It's just everyone will enjoy one thing here.
What I agree with that because I love a PS Plus month. So let's look at the month with Seafight. What a good month! But all the good games in there, I already own. For example, this I own nothing here. Nothing here is owned by me. It's like, hey, have you ever heard of this game? You go, why would I have ever heard of this game? Well, don't worry. If you want to make food for no reason, here's this. If you want to do,
I think the noise I made when I looked at the list was literally just.
I scrolled through going, oh. But as much as I liked the Star Ocean,
what noise did you make?
No.
It's this is where's the headliner?
Yeah, there wasn't a headliner.
There wasn't.
I prefer this to sound like the Star Ocean month, where as much as I liked that, if it was like Star Ocean, Near Replicant, and a couple other things, and if you don't like that genre, get fucked. There is literally something here for everyone.
My argument is, not argument, but what I think is, if they ever put a Minecraft game in the 3 games, it's going to be a pretty shit month because
I'm almost tempted to give it a go.
But I just hate it. They've done it a few times. Every time the Minecraft game comes up, it never gets mentioned. We never put it on the list because it's worthless.
I'm tempted to play it. It looks fun.
Base Minecraft, I completely
perfectly
hate.
Fine.
The rest of it, garbage.
It is a very bizarre game to make a franchise out of.
Yeah, I don't understand.
It has nothing.
So where are we landing? Good or bad? If you had to choose good or bad, where do you land?
Bad. I would say bad.
Probably bad.
I think it's a bad.
But
I
think
understand.
there's good things.
I understand it. But there isn't really a headliner. There isn't that AAA title. There isn't something that you've probably been longing for.
Underwhelming is the.
Yeah.
There's no killer here.
Yeah.
But that being said, there are some gems hidden here. So let's have a little look at the championed games that we've gone for. Cerys, what game are you championing?
Listen, I'm going to make this sweet and short because I have actually championed this game before. I realised that when we started recording.
Well, not quite this
Not
one.
quite, yeah. So the game that I'm championing is Medieval, which is in the classic section because it is not the remake, it is the PS1 version.
The pre-make.
Yes.
The pre-make, yeah. The OG. And those of you who've listened to this before, you guys already know I fucking love this game. It was a absolute staple in my house growing up, and when the remake came out, I fucking loved the remake. Now, obviously, the remake isn't free anymore.
It's not a free make.
And if I was going to tell you to play one of them, I'd say play the remake because it is really faithful, 100% to the original, and obviously it's got the better graphics. And PS1 graphics are, especially in Medieval, they are fucking rough.
I love that 6 polygon screen.
But for nostalgic purposes and just because it is a fucking fun game, I would 100% recommend you give it a go. It is, I just love it. I just think it's great fun. And I think there's something about the charm of how bad a PS1 graphic is that I think can only lend itself to
I
the
love it.
experience more.
Yeah.
I love it.
The other two games that were championing, me and Darren both had to argue over who was championing what. And we're going to go with Darren first
Okay.
for him, because we went with who had played the games longer.
Yeah.
And I've played one of the games slightly longer than Darren. Darren's played the other game slightly longer than me. So,
So my champion game is Skull the Hero Slayer, I believe its full name.
I think that's his full name.
That is correct.
I will
Skull
check.
the Hero Slayer. Basically, the concept of this is you are a little skull knight called Skull, and
Skull.
you are,
only got one
a
L.
follower of I believe it's the Demon King and his big tower and his big castle, and you basically get invaded by humans. It's like the inverse of a standard setup.
Yep.
Where you are the evil skeleton baddie who's been like defeated by the humans, and you're trying to reclaim the tower and save like your boss, your lord, and whatnot. And you save a witch really early on, and you sort of save people as you go through from there. But it's a side-scroller roguelike style game. It's quite similar in setup to something like a Dead Cells,
Okay.
but controls a bit more. Sluggish is a mean word, but I think it's an accurate word. It's a lot slower and more like methodical rather than run by, mash the button as you kill everything in sight that Dead Cells sometimes is. This is very like, you stand, you punch, dodge, punch, dodge. The main gimmick of this is you're a little skeleton with a little skeleton head. And what you can do is pop off your head and put a different head on.
Nice.
And it gives you new abilities. So I think the first new head I found gave you like a water attack.
Okay.
That went along the ground and acted as like a knockback. So
Oh,
your
that's-
normal one, you just like throw like a
Just
projectile.
thinking about how useful that would be in everyday life. If I was a teenager and I could just pop on a different head that would make me pass my maths GCSE the
Yeah,
first
right.
time.
Yeah.
But you get like
Can't do that by throwing water at your test, just to clarify.
No.
I think it'd be great in the example of like the guy standing too close in the supermarket. You just go away.
Yeah. Don't make me pop my head off.
But there's like lots of different ones, and each different head gives you a different special ability and a different attack start, and you can I think carry 3 at once. But it's through there. I haven't played like a huge amount of it, but I really enjoyed what I played. It feels really nice to play. It's got a nice sense of humour to it as well.
It does. It's a nice, like friendly, like tongue in cheek. You know what this would be in the other way. Like,
Yeah.
you know how it would be if it was a human chasing. Like deal with these.
The first boss is a guy who's clearly just joined, and he's like, I'm going to kill all the skeletons. I'm going to mess
Yeah.
them up, and I'll be the hero. And you just kick his fucking ass.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no.
It is good fun. I enjoyed it, and it does have that sort of classic.
It's very charming.
It's got that simple sort of roguelike, like where you're getting more things. Your Rogue Legacy. I wouldn't say like Hollow Knight or something like that. It's not that sort of that thing. But like your Rogue Legacy, I suppose nobody versus the world sort of feeling.
Yeah.
It's that sort of.
Feeling.
I was gonna say
Vibe.
and now I don't think it's vibe's the right word.
Yeah.
Feeling. But yes,
It's fun.
if you enjoy that style of game, you'll probably enjoy this.
Yeah, you have a good time.
And the final champion game is Dave the Diver.
What a fucking great game.
Oh man, Dave the Diver, which has just been released, it's just out on PS5 and PS4, and you got it for free now. It's obviously been out since last year, I think October on Switch, and it was a little bit before that on PC. A pixel art game that is masquerading as an indie but isn't, and then won best indie title because people got confused because it was in a pixel art. But you are Dave the Diver, who is on a lovely little holiday. Then your friend Cobra calls you up and goes, "Hey, do you want to come diving?" You're like, "I'm on holiday." He goes, "How about some sushi?" And he goes, "Oh yeah, sushi." And you fly off. And it wasn't just to have sushi, it's to go diving and then help set up your own sushi restaurant with Bancho, the head chef.
I love Bancho.
And you are basically the cycle is you go diving, you collect fish, you collect items, you upgrade your equipment, and then you take fish back to the sushi restaurant. And at night, you and Bancho serve sushi to people, but then you can hire people to add to your restaurant. You can upgrade how your restaurant looks, you can upgrade your equipment, and then you notice there are earthquakes and strange things happening around, and you're trying to work out what's going on there. Are there sea people and mer people you can deal with? Yes. Also, am I going to be taking pictures to send to wildlife magazines? Yes. Will I be setting up a fish farm? Yes, which I can then like get eggs and make people like more fish there, so I don't have to focus
Will you
on the
meet
fishing.
Ash Ketchum, who asks you
Yeah.
to catch all of the fish?
Yes, you will meet an Ash Ketchum who does that.
What?
You also
What? Are
meet...
you... Wait, no.
Oh, yeah.
Is that a joke or is that for
That's
real?
legitimately an aspect
Holy
of the game.
shit.
Yeah, and once every 5 days, a different special one shows up for you
Nice.
that you have to catch.
Yeah.
You also, the guy who does guns is a massive fucking weeb. He makes you send off because he's lost a package, and it's actually just a blow-up doll, I'm pretty sure, or like a statue.
I think it's an anime
girl
like statue.
that he wants.
You have to go rescue it.
But it's really stupid, simple, like funny, like humor that's all very. I mean, like your best friend's called Cobra. You get attacked by something that's like Greenpeace, but it's got a different name
Yeah.
as well because they're not happy with what you're doing there. And it's just simple, easy fun. Like each dive you do takes anywhere between, I would say, 5 and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm diving down to about 300 meters at the moment, which is quite a way out there. And it's, if I have to leave halfway through a dive because, like something's happening and I want to close the game, I don't feel irked by that. I'm just like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Or I go, you know what, I've got 20 minutes. I'll just jump into, do a session on Dave the Dive and move on. And if you die, I also don't care. Like, you die, you can only collect one thing that you died with. Fine, who cares? I'll just try it again the next one. There is no harm in taking longer to do stuff in it. It's the perfect game to have a TV show, a podcast, an audiobook, something alongside, and you'll have just as much fun. Also, the cutscene animations are super.
The little anime cutscenes of Bancho making sushi are so good. They're so silly.
Because they do like you can upgrade, and he goes, all right, turns his music up on his iPod, and you see him like shing like a sword out, and it's just like him cutting and like
Sounds very wholesome.
It's so good.
It's a good fun game. What I do think is funny, the funniest comment in it so far is when you do meet the sea people and you go there. They obviously don't like humans, and you start talking to the sea person. And they go, wait, what? That's a human? I thought you'd brought a blue manatee with you. It's because you're a fat diver. And everyone keeps making comments that Dave is not the typical diver physique throughout the entire game.
He's not a swimmer.
He's not a swimmer. He's a floater.
Apparently Dave in their language is close to dirty bin lid.
Nice.
I thought it was broken toilet seat.
It's something like that.
Both options. Very good. Love that.
But those are our champion games. So we have a little look at our top 5 games for this
Yes.
month. So in number 5, we have Immortals of Avium or Avium.
I always think there's an N in that title. There isn't. It's Avium.
Avium, which is a first-person magic shooter.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it, really.
That is basically what it is.
You have
Yeah.
3 different types of magic: red, blue, and green. I'm
Yeah.
sure they've got different abilities, and it's almost like a Pokemon style. This damages this kind
Left
of
beats right, beats right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I played a bit of this. It looks very nice, and there's clearly like a lot of work put into it. I think it fell a bit flat because it is just like solid B tier stuff.
It feels like Doom, the new Doom remake. It's got that, not that vibe, but like it's got that feeling of that first pace, that sort of thing with it.
But it's introducing its world, and it's like you live above the wound, and there's the ever war between the light and the dark, and it's like, oh, come on. We could have had a bit more time into this, couldn't we?
It's really shit dialogue.
But it's
really
got like, I really like what it's doing. I just don't like how it's doing it.
What I think is, but what I do love is that it's turned fully into it, and it accepts how silly it is, and it's like, no, but we have to be serious about it. It's the same as when you watch or read a fantasy book, and they've replaced the word shit with like scut or something like that, and like everyone says it, and you have to sort of go, that's stupid, but you go, I admire your commitment.
It's like kind of shady, but it's taking itself so seriously. Like, yeah, go on then. I'll buy in.
We'll go
Fuck
for the ride. In number 4, we have Miasma Chronicles. This is how do I describe it? It is isometric, and you walking around the world. Post-apocalyptic style XCOM fighter. So it's a turn-based tactics. They made another game. I'm trying to remember.
I describe it as having the same gameplay structure as Mario Rabbids.
Yep.
Where you have free movement around the overworld, and you go into like battle arenas essentially, which are then turn-based isometric sort of grid-based things. I think it's grid-based.
I'm trying to
Can't
remember what they
what else they made.
They made another tactic-based game,
Okay.
which I think has the word zero in it. I can't remember. Mutant Year Zero.
Oh, yeah.
That was their game before this, which got a lot of praise, and people are real... This is the follow-up to Wolong for me, where people are either like, this is great, above it, or this is not as good.
Okay.
So people are a bit on either side, but it just looked really cool. They've obviously put a lot of time and effort into this sort of like real-time working around the world. It looks dark, gritty. The weather conditions are superb looking. I love a little like XCOM, Mario Rabbids, like turn-based tactic thing. So it just looks... It looks like something I need to give some time to because it deserves it. In third, we have Medieval.
Yeah!
Nice. The PS1 version. In second, we have Skull.
Yeah.
And in first, we have Dave the Diver.
Rightly so.
I mean, Dave the Diver and Skull were actually joint on points, but because two of us had it as their number one game.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think it's a better game.
I've enjoyed it more, but yeah. What I would say is at this point, there are two games that actually haven't released on PS Plus. One called The Tales of Kenzera Zhao, which looks all right. It looks like a little side-scrolling Metroidvania-esque one. It looks... The graphics and design of it feel very much like the new Prince of Persia game that came out. And interested to give it a go, but there's actually another one coming out called Animal Well.
Animal Well is coming out on May the 9th. I think it's been out on PC for a bit, but it's coming out on PS5. From what I've read about it, Animal Well is a Metroidvania that has no combat.
Oh.
It's entirely puzzle-based, and it's like you complete puzzles to unlock new abilities, to do other puzzles that require like an additional
that's
step.
another gun in the mouth game for me.
I think that sounds incredible.
I think it sounds incredible as well. The second you said it, I was like, oh, yeah, that's all for me. But yeah.
Puzzly Metroidvania sounds great.
Sounds like it's not for Kerry.
No, there's no mindless, cozy stuff, and there's no big guns and bangs and stuff, so not for me.
That's fair. That's fair.
I can't argue with no guns and bangs for me, so not for me. And I think they're both... the Tales of Kenzera is actually a brand new game. So
I think Animal Well's been out on other things for a little while.
Like games that make me think, you know.
That's fair.
I
Just want
wanna
to switch
think.
off. Yeah.
I want to think.
That's absolutely fine. So that's all of PS Plus. Only one more question to ask you guys. Is there anything you're looking forward to in the next month before the next stream that you might be potentially playing or
Should have
looking at?
Stellar Blade.
Stellar Blade, we both got pre-ordered potentially. Or you will.
I'm probably going to pre-order it.
Sekiro with cake is how someone described it to me. It's sexy Sekiro.
Sexy Sekiro.
Sexy
Do you mean
Sekiro.
cake is in eating cake or cake is an ass?
It's
As
an
in
ass.
butts.
It's an ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's coming out on the 26th of April. The demo looked amazing. Everything feels great about it.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for it. That's probably the big one. Anything else that's
I
coming out?
have two others. I don't know when one of them's actually coming out specifically. I think it's pre-next episode. One of them is the Iden Chronicles follow-up.
That is out in a couple of days.
But people have got it because if you backed it on the Kickstarter they did, people have already been playing it.
If you have Xbox Game Pass, it's coming free there on the 23rd of April.
So I've heard all good things.
Yeah.
People are like, this is meant to be a follow-up to the Suikoden games. If you like them, you will love this. I haven't played them, but I like what I see. So I'll give it a go. The other one is the Paper Mario 1000 Year Door.
that comes out on 23rd of May, so it might be just before we get it.
That's what I wasn't sure when it came out in May.
It's right. The other one that I'm looking forward to in May is going to be Senua Saga Hellblade 2 that comes out May 21st, which again might be just before we record it, so we'll see how it looks. I don't think there's anything else before that is going in, but I feel like we're going to spend a lot of time playing some Stellar Blade.
Yeah. Hopefully it's stellar.
Hopefully it's Blade.
Jesus.
Hopefully it is Wesley Snipes.
Just not paying any taxes.
Yep.
Oh, Lord.
But that's the end of this episode. Thank you everyone for coming along. If you are interested in what we're doing here, we do also stream on Twitch 3 times a week, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays at 7 p.m. So do check that out. All that stuff is also on YouTube if you want to check out any of our old streams. And there is a longer version of this episode probably on there as well. It may be the same length. It should be longer, but it isn't always. But if you want to find out more stuff, Instagram is the way to go at DiscountPod, and you can get us on all our individual ones at Discount Darren, Discount Cerys, and Discount Josh. Nothing else really to say apart from thank you all for listening. Thank you for being our player 4s. And have you got any other fun noises, Darren?
Rip 3DS, I'll miss you.
That's fair enough. Catch you all next time. Thanks.
Bye.